Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take you out in the Abarth and we're going to have a chat about its suspension because I've got a treat for it lined up. I've bought some Eibach lowering springs and 25mm spacers that we're going to go put on the car tomorrow morning at a place called Motor Mech in Birmingham. I've heard good things about them. Apparently they're an Italian car specialist. So yeah, I thought I'll take you out, give you sort of my impressions on how it drives, and if there's anything that I think the Eibachs will improve. Honestly, the main reason I'm buying them is because I think the car will look better, a bit lowered. I think they ride a bit too high, these Abarths. Yeah, that's the main reason. So let's get going, let's get cracking, and I'll tell you what I think of the suspension as we go. Okay, so initially, as just driving along now, like low speeds, just waiting to come out of a junction, and there is a very nice Caterham going past, which looks great. That's sick. So we're following the Caterham. Yeah, so just pulling out of that junction there, suspension, it feels really quite wafty, I'm not going to lie. Like, I know these cars have got Bilstein dampers on them, and that's great for just casual driving like this, because it is dead comfortable and quite wafty. But the moment you get to a corner, there's one that's coming right up. What I really liked about the Alpha was how eager it is to turn in. This car just kind of feels, on initial turn-in, has a little bit of roll to it. So it rolls and then sort of flattens itself out, which is fine. Like it feels good to drive. But for me personally, I like a car that's proper darty on turn-in. So yeah, I lean towards oversteer. The Alpha had it, and the Alpha handled beautifully. I love the way that car turned into a corner. So yeah, so I'm hoping that with the Eibach springs and the spacers, I mean, it could be a tyre issue. These tyres that are on the car are Bridgestones, not Potenzas. Not really sure which ones these ones are, to be honest. Off the top of my head, I can't really remember. So maybe it might be a tyre issue, and I might have to put some PS4s on it, which is on the cards anyway. But until then, I'm hoping that these springs sort of sort out that wallowiness as you turn into a corner and just get the car feeling a little bit more confidence inspiring on turning. Yeah, that's sort of the goal. And then obviously the main reason is for the looks. I think the car will look so much better lowered a little bit. They ride way too high from factory. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll give you a bit more of a review on what I think of the overall setup. So yeah, catch you tomorrow. So we're back. I've got the springs fitted. Now I've just recorded this video, to be honest, and I've looked to my left and my audio recorder is out of juice. So I'm redoing it on the GoPro mic, and hopefully it's just a bit better. Or, well, no, not better. It's not going to be better. Hopefully it's not as bad as I think it might be. So, springs then. Overall, cost of fitting just over 300 quid. So, all in all, with the springs, spacers, and the cost of fitting, for this mod you're looking at around £600 odd. Is it worth it? Honestly, it depends what type of driving you're doing. If all you're doing is going for a Sunday cruise, like this sort of speed, just half speed, just fan around, enjoying yourself on the motorway, stuff like that, no, not really. It's not really much of a change, unless you're just like me and you wanted it mainly for the aesthetic. Now, if you get yourself on a road like this, and I'll get some B-roll shots hopefully of this road, because it's fantastic. This is where that modification really comes alive. So we're going to press on. get around this corner here. It's so much flatter. Before, this car was just kind of wobbly. Look at that. I mean, there's like 4 corners in quick succession here that all change in direction and require a decent amount of steering angle. Before, the car would have been so hesitant to change direction to get into those corners, whereas now it's exactly the opposite. It's more eager to do it. So I do think if you're looking for a car, or a modification, sorry, to make your Abarth handle like you think it should have basically out of factory, then this mod, look no further. It's honestly transformed the car into what, like I said, into what you think the car should feel like when you drive it. You take it to a twisty road and it's a bit wallowy here and there. So what this does is just eliminate that. You do still get a tiny bit of roll when you turn in, but it's not too much that before it put me off turning into a corner, whereas now it's just telling me what the car's doing. Just give me a little hint of, right, okay, you're near the limit now, we're rolling. So, like, even going up here, like, this isn't a bit of a hill climb a little bit. And the car just feels so good, and it's not crashy. The suspension doesn't feel crashy anyway. The ride quality hasn't been compromised, in my opinion. Yes, you're gonna notice it if you hit some big bumps and stuff like that, but for the most part, you're not really gonna notice too much of a change in ride quality. It's really, really good. So I think I'll end it there and sort of give quickly my last overview is, yeah, it's worth the £600 odd. Obviously, if you're fitting it yourself, it's going to be way cheaper, but I am no mechanic, and it depends what driving you want to do, really. If you're just cruising around, keep the stock if you're not bothered about the look. If you're doing some more passionate driving, let's say, then I do think it's worth it, and you get the bonus of it looks way better. So yeah, that's my overview of the Eibach springs. I've also got 25mm spacers on here as well, which is worth a mention. And yeah, with this guy in front's just parking, so I'll end it there and hope you enjoyed. Let me know how I did on the ums and ums, because the last video there's plenty of those to go after. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra!